At the top of this bulletin, we have some breaking news coming in as far as the conflict between Israel and Hamas is actually concerned. Now, statements by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi at the start of a security assessment has just come in. They have said, and we quote, that we are working together as an iron fist for one objective, to eliminate Hamas. There is total and mutual trust between the Prime Minister and Defense Minister and the IDF Chief of Staff. The unity of their goal is absolutely clear. Let's listen in to the reaction coming in on the same.
כאגרוף מחץ למטרה אחת, לחסל את החמאס. אנחנו נותנים גיבוי זה לזה, ואנחנו נותנים גיבוי לצבא ההגנה לישראל, ללוחמים שלנו, למפקדים שלנו. ואני מבקש אזרחי ישראל שתדעו דבר נוסף. אנחנו מקבלים את ההחלטות כאן ובקבינט לניהול המלחמה פה אחד. אנחנו עושים את זה באחריות רבה, אנחנו עושים את זה גם בחרדת קודש. אנחנו נלחמים יחד ואנחנו ננצח יחד. רק יחד.
Well, that was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We have CNN News 18's Abhishek Jha joining us on the broadcast as well. Abhishek, a very good morning to you. They are clearly saying that their intention is only to eliminate Hamas. Did they also talk about what they are going to be doing next?
Well, the first thing that Israeli Prime Minister is trying to push or to tell people that the government is very much united against the fight against the terrorism, that is against terrorists, and there is no differences that is between the armed forces and the political dispensation in Israel, and they are united, and any such rumors should be avoided. Second thing is that the hostage crisis in Gaza has been going on for almost 20 days now, and all the nations whose citizens have been taken captive by those Hamas terrorists are trying to push, in a way to Israel that the counter-offensive or the ground offensive should go slow, so that it will give them some time to negotiate with the Hamas terrorists. In fact, we have seen in the last 2 days about 4 persons have been freed also, including 2 elderly persons yesterday of Israel, and it looks like some pressure tactics on the Israeli side and some humanitarian aid on the Gazan side is some kind of giving a conducive environment where these negotiations to free all the hostages are taking place. Now, what kind of actions the Israeli forces will be taking from here onward, that remains to be seen, because their airstrikes had continued to bombard various locations across Gaza, which has killed several civilians in the past few days as well. And they are claiming some big leaders neutralization, but that is still to be confirmed from that side.
Right, Abhishek, we request you to please stay with us because we have another development on the same story now coming in. What we are learning is that Israeli Air Force fighter jets have carried out an airstrike in order to neutralize Ibrahim Al-Saher, the head of the anti-tank missiles array of Hamas Northern Brigade, this morning. This is the recent development that we are just receiving. Abhishek continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, coming back to you, could you tell us more about this airstrike that we are talking about?
Yes, the Israeli Air Force have conducted this airstrike, which has killed a senior leader of Israeli, the Hamas forces, and that is something interesting, because in the last few days, what Israeli airstrike is trying to achieve is targeting senior leaders of Hamas, their headquarters, their infrastructure, their buildings, or wherever their location could be. And most of the cases, though, have come at a high cost of civilian casualties, but it is something that their offensive continues to be on. Unless and until ground operation by the Israeli forces starts in Gaza, these air strikes are the only resort that Israeli government is taking to ensure that Hamas terrorists, and a number of them, are killed and their entire infrastructure and their network is demolished by the superiority that the Israeli Air Force has over people in Gaza.
Right, Abhishek, please stay with us because we have another piece of breaking news now coming in. The U.S. National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications, John Kirby, actually attacked Iran over Israel-Hamas war. He said, and I quote, that we know there's complicity here by Iran. They have been supporting Hamas for years. a couple of decades actually, and Hamas would not be able to function or exist without Iran. But I cannot stand here before you and say that we have seen a particular piece of intelligence that shows that they were participating or directing what happened on October 7th. But again, nobody is doubting, nobody is walking away from the fact that Iran does bad things with bad people in that part. Take a look at this reaction.
There's complicity here by Iran. As I just said, they have been supporting Hamas for years, a couple of decades, and Hamas wouldn't be able to function or exist without Iran. But I can't stand here before you and say that we've seen a particular piece of intelligence that shows that they were participating in, witting of, directing what happened on October 7th. But again, nobody's doubting, nobody's walking away from the fact that Iran does bad things with bad people in that part of the world.
Abhishek continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Quite a strong word coming in from US's side, Abhishek, towards Iran, related to the tensions between them that has escalated not over the years but over the decades, especially after Islamic Revolution. What do you have to say about this particular reaction coming in from US's side towards Iran this time?
Well, it should be seen as a very, balanced or very cautious approach from the US side towards Iran, because while they have backed this theory that Hamas and Iranian government have been very close for decades, but they are also at the same time trying to avoid any direct reference for Iran in the involvement of Hamas terrorist attack on 7th October in southern cities of Israel. So, in a way, not letting the entire conflict escalate further, because if USA starts directly alleging Iranian government or Iranian agencies backing Hamas in the terrorist attack of 7th October, then it will obviously escalate further. Israel has already alleged Iran for backing Hamas terrorists for a long time now, and we have also seen senior leaders from Russia, Turkey, and other countries also. They are right now in Iran, and while they'll be discussing other issues that includes Armenian issue and Azerbaijani difference, they'll also be talking about the conflict that is happening in the region and what kind of stake Iran has in that, and what kind of interference or involvement Russia could see in the days to come. So the entire commentary that is USA is doing on the terrorist attack and the aftermath of it, that is the counteroffensive by Israel, they have been very balanced and very alert that they do not escalate the tension further. And while they continue to blame Iran for many terrorist activities or backing several militia organizations in the region, they have been avoiding direct reference of Iran in the terrorist attack that has happened on 7th of October in Israeli cities.
Right, Abhishek. Please stay with us because we have some more developments right now coming in. Now, in another development, French President Emmanuel Macron will visit Tel Aviv on Tuesday for talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That's the recent piece of breaking news that we have just received as far as the conflict between Israel and Hamas is concerned. Abhishek continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, how crucial is Macron's visit to Tel Aviv this time?
Well, this is in a way to show solidarity with the people of Israel and also extend condolences from the French President or the French people for the to the Israeli people. We have seen President Biden, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, the German leadership, all have been visiting Israel and meeting Prime Minister Netanyahu, showing solidarity and expressing their concern about the ongoing situation in Israel and its counteroffensive that is happening against Hamas terrorists in Gaza. While most of the leaders have talked about the fight against terrorism and Israel's right to defend itself, they have also been trying to dissuade Israel from furthering any step that would mean more civilian casualty. We have seen already about 5,000 Palestinian people in Gaza have been killed in the counteroffensive airstrike that Israel has conducted in the last 3 weeks since the attack on 7th of October. But these civilian casualties are now taking center stage in the world's discourse against the fight against terrorism, and that is one concern that the world leaders have expressed with the Israeli government, that they should not go ahead with that much might that would cause more civilian casualties. So with that reference, French President's visit to Israel is in a way a strength that the Israelis are needing right now, and especially these countries of G7, mostly they have been extending their solid support and backing Israel in its counteroffensive against terrorist groups in Gaza.
Right, Abhishek. Thank you so much for bringing in all those crucial details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on that. Right.